not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Watch this. And here, we are not neutral, and we have never claimed to be. We have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we are the headquarters of the truth. And my name certainly Blakk Rasta, Ghana's #1, Africa's finest. This is our daily editorial. It is called The Voice of the Patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now today we have a number of issues to look at, and we'll go straight into action. Come along. Now the very first story we are looking at today is taken from Ghana Web, and it says revert Kotoka International Airport to its original name. Kwame Nkrumah's daughter talking, and that's Samia Nkrumah. Now, daughter of Ghana's first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Samia Yaba Nkrumah, has rejected calls suggesting that Kotoka International Airport be named after her late father. She said her late father, who was overthrown through a military coup d'etat in 1966, remained an iconic leader and a great Pan-Africanist who does not need more accolades. Now, speaking in an interview with Joy News, she said the current name of Ghana's international airport could be reverted to its international and original name, which was changed to Kotoka International Airport. Though she maintained that the present name must be changed, she insisted that the airport must not be named after her late father, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It was never called Kwame Nkrumah Airport. It was called Accra International Airport. So we have been calling for it to revert to that old name, she stated. Now, she noted, we are not saying it should be called Kwame Nkrumah. I don't think Kwame Nkrumah needs more praise or accolades. She explained that her call for changing the name was not born out of hatred for Kotoka, who overthrew her father, saying, now we have moved on, we have forgiven. We don't want to settle scores. When asked if she held any grief, she said, no, definitely not at all. Not to the families, not even to the men who masterminded the coup. I have met General Ankrah's children. She added, we are all Ghanaians and we have to move on. You know, we want to unite rather than divide ourselves. Now, this claim notwithstanding, she insisted that the name must be changed, and not just because Kotoka was a coup leader who masterminded the coup, but also because it sends the wrong signal. Now, my brother, my sister, this is so clear, and I need us to look into it. Now, Ghana is a country that is a democratic one. We are against all forms of undemocratic things. We do not want anything that is not democratic. Our country has been heralded and lauded for being a beacon of democracy in West Africa and Africa as a whole. When other African countries are busily changing leaders via the barrel of the gun, we go to the ballot boxes. Despite all the noise we make sure that the thumbprint is the final decider. That is democracy. A government for the people, by the people. And at the same time, my brother, my sister, it's a government that is supposed to be chosen by the people. A government that is supposed to represent the people. Yes, in times gone by, we have all made up our minds about who a leader was and what the leader did in terms of democracy. We are still a democracy in the burden. My brother, my sister, That notwithstanding, the airport that used to be in this country called Accra was named Accra International Airport. Today, my brother, my sister, it is called the Kotoka International Airport. Why was it changed? Because Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown and people applauded what the coup maker did. So the big name of Accra was taken out of the airport and relegated to a coup maker. A man who derailed the success of this country. Knowingly or unknowingly. A man who betrayed the democracy of this country. Some people have hailed him, including Jerry John Rawlings, that Nkrumah was becoming unbecoming. He had run down the economy of this country and he wanted to be president for life. And for that matter, to save the democracy of this nation, Kotoka had to get undemocratic. And undemocratically, he got the support of the West and kicked out Kwame Nkrumah. Therefore, he is a hero. We have statues of Kotoka in so many different areas. 2 in the Volta region, my brother, my sister. And the biggest statue is the Kotoka International Airport right now. That bears the name of a villain. What Samia is saying is very simple. I am not bitter about Kotoka, the man who overthrew my father. I am only worried about the signals that his name on the airport would send. Are we praising a coup maker? Are we all of a sudden saying that Nkrumah was so bad that we had to undo almost everything that he did? And several years down the lane, we all are going back to Nkrumahism. And Nkrumah all of a sudden has become a hero. How hypocritical. Everybody in Ghana right now is talking Nkrumah. If you want to win elections in Ghana, you must talk Nkrumah. If you don't, you will be relegated to the background, the doldrums of opposition. Like it happened to Bawumia and his running mate, Napo. You cannot insult Nkrumah and win an election in Ghana. You lie. Kwame Nkrumah was a selfless leader. Yes, he made mistakes. But my brother, my sister, in good faith, he led this country all the way to becoming the promised land. Why should we undo Accra International Airport and put a coup maker's name on it? Because we glorify coup making. Because we glorify bloodshed. Because we glorify wickedness. My brother, my sister, at the time of the coup, people in Ghana jubilated. Many were happy that Nkrumah had been kicked out. But why is it that a few years down the line, we are all crying that whoever did this to Nkrumah hit Ghana at the wrong side? Were we mediocre in our thinking? Did we not realize that this day would come? Or are we a people who always want to live in the past? Are we a people who don't have a vision? This is not the first time we are seeing Ghanaians take a decision and regret it just a few years after. We kicked out Mahama. We all said he was incompetent. We didn't want to hear his voice again. A few years down the line, we were crying to have him back. Some were crying literally to have Mahama back. He's back in power. My brother, my sister, what is Samia saying? Revert the name of the airport. But another interesting thing arises. Now, the Gamanche and other people in Accra who matter when it comes to tradition and the land, they don't want the name Greater Accra Region. It doesn't look like they even want the name Accra at all. After all, Accra was a name that was given to this place by the Ashantis, according to history. Crime. And it simply means ants. We are told that there used to be a lot of ants in these areas, today called Accra in a lump. And when people from the Ashanti region in ancient times came around here, they decided to name this area Nkran, which means ants. Is that why the people of Accra, who matter in terms of tradition, want the name scraped off? I'm just asking. We heard the government the other time speak with Nana Akufo-Addo, and he said that they are not happy about this place being called Greater Accra Region. They want it to be called Gadangbe Region. Gadangbe. Is it a way to deal with the name Nkran or Accra? My brother, my sister, in the days we were told that a lot of ant hills were all over this region today called Accra. And it was the Ashantis who named it Nkran. Mikon Nkran. You will never hear an Ashanti man say Mikwa Accra, unless they are probably modern day Ashantis or Konkran. And Konkran. My brother, my sister, and Nkran simply means ants. We are told by history. Are the people of Accra not happy about the name Accra? Is it because it was given to us by the Ashantis? Is it because we didn't name ourselves Accra or Nkran? Could history be wrong? Finally, if the people of Accra themselves do not seem to like the name Accra, why should the airport be named Accra International Airport? The people say they don't like it. The government just says he wants the place to be called Gadangbe Region, not Greater Accra Region. Now some people are even advocating to have Greater Ashanti Region. Very soon we'll have Greater Northern Region, Greater Eastern Region, Greater Western Region, because we are a foolish people. So tribalistic, we don't have common sense. No common sense. Tribal wranglings, unnecessary tribalism, isms and schisms. And this is terribly sad. Greater Accra, all of a sudden we see Greater Ashanti. Greater Ashanti Region. Why? What is the problem? Today, Samia is advocating that, listen, don't get me wrong, I don't want the airport to be named after my father. After all, when my father was here, in fact, it was named Accra International Airport. So the catch name is Accra. What is the meaning of Accra? Historically, we are told that in history, it was named by the Akans, the Ashantis. They called the place Nkran because they saw a lot of ants in this area. For that matter, today when you call this place Accra or Nkran, it's almost like it's ants who live here. That is where our minds go, unfortunately. We forget the historical chunk that had a lot of ants around here. So we are just giving a little bit of credence. It's not bad to change the name. We used to be called the Gold Coast because there was so much gold here. All of a sudden, Nkrumah said, no, we don't want to be called the Gold Coast. It's too ordinary. We want to be called Ghana. indigenize our name. If the people of Accra are telling you they don't want the name Accra, they must have a very good reason. What is the reason? The only reason I can see is that we were named after another ethnic group. And for that matter, we want to name ourselves. We are Gadangbe region. So then, if we are Gadangbe region, how do you call this area now, the capital? Is it still going to be Accra? Or you would find a name for it? Is the problem the name? What really is the problem? Until we solve this problem, the airport cannot be called Accra International Airport. Or else, in a few days, we'll be looking at changing the Accra again. So let us not treat symptoms. Let's deal with the root cause of the problem. Left to me alone, call it Ghana International Airport. They're all Ghana. Ghana International Airport should be enough. We'll get one of the wonderful heroes directly from the land here and name the airport after him or her. And I can give you 1 million names from this area as that historian. I leave it here. Now the next thing I want to look at is equally interesting, and it's taken from Ghana Web. He says, Nana Konadu dislikes me. Some of her children don't talk to me. And this is my very good friend, Victor Smith. Oh my God, I love Victor Smith. You know, he's been very kind to me in the days gone by. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's a man that I truly love. Oh yes, he's a gentleman. In fact, when he was ambassador right there in Prague, I remember he invited me to come over. I couldn't just make it. For a reason, he liked me. And when Obama came, he was the one at the gate. When I arrived, everybody was turned away because the president was about to take a walk and the 21-gun salute was about to be heard. But when he approached there, he said, Blakk, what are you doing here? Hurry up, coming in. And other people standing by were looking at me. I was like, what is this? When I got in, they closed the gate. I honor him for that. His name is Victor Smith. Former secretary to the late president, Jerry John Rawlings, and current ambassador to the United States of America, Victor Smith, has opened up about the status of his relationship with the Rawlings family. Now, speaking on Channel 1 TV's Face to Face, and on Tuesday, September the 23rd, 2025, Victor Smith said that the wife of the late president, Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings, and some of her children still harbor resentment towards him following his fallout with the family some years ago. I still have issues with the children. Some of them don't want to talk to me. But Senator, she is down to earth. We have had a couple of meetings. I would love to make up with the mother, he said. Answering a question about whether the former First Lady should return to the party founded by her husband, the National Democratic Congress, Ambassador Smith said the decision ultimately lies with Mrs. Rawlings. He further explored the strained relationship between him and Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings while expressing his willingness to patch things up with her. As to coming back to the party, it's not within my power to do that. She could have done that herself. We can't really bring her in against her wishes. It's up to her. When the husband was alive, she never did. Her husband was caught between a rock and a hard place. Founder of a party and the wife. Could you abandon your wife? No, nobody abandons their wife because she is the mother of your children. If not for anything at all, she is a mother to his children. So he managed to steer his way until God came for him. I don't know the situation now, whether she wants to come back to our party or not. Whatever problems happened between Victor Smith and Rawlings, we all know. He was sacked via a text message from Rawlings. We were told that Rawlings sent him a text message and asked him to write a sack letter for himself. After all, he was his personal assistant. Write a letter sacking yourself and bring it to me to sign. Now the text message got its way all the way to Joy FM that read it and announced it. I remember that day clearly. He was fired via a text message. Whatever the problem was, they have been very quiet about the deeper wranglings, the deeper echelons of the problem. But my brother, my sister, Victor Smith, most importantly, has picked up a huge olive branch, and it looks like he's waving that olive branch in the face of the Rawlingses. He has singled out Zenator as somebody who is peace-loving, forgiving. You can add all the other accolades. She has had meetings with him as to what the meetings were about. You and I were not there. But basically, I want to believe that he's trying to make up with the Rawlingses. He wants to be forgiven if he has done some wrong. He wants to be part of the Rawlingses again. I think this is respect. Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings, from where I stand, doesn't look like a very forgiving person. I don't know her too well, but the little I have seen from the distance, she doesn't seem to be very forgiving. She seems to be very vindictive. I remember how she broke away from the party. Her husband was the sitting founder and still a member of the party. She didn't care. In fact, what controversy she was pushing the husband into. It was unfair to make the husband make a choice between his wife and his party. Rawlings became very, very sad. In fact, very unfair. You and your husband founded a party. Together you pushed the party on. All of a sudden, you broke away from the party. For whatever reasons, you couldn't iron that out with your founder husband and top members of the party. You broke away. Maybe ideological differences, but I read bitterness into the whole thing. My brother, my sister, several years down the line, the party Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings broke away and founded only exists on paper. Do you remember the name of the party? Even as historians, we have to dig into the archives, go deep like archaeologists, dig this out from the rubbles, resurrect it, and put a name onto it and maybe a face before we can pronounce that. It's dead. That party is a figment of the imagination of whoever. At the time, politicians tried to read a meaning into it. Maybe she was pushing a certain agenda. She wanted something to be done for her, and they denied it. For that matter, she decided to divide the votes, and she failed woefully. My brother, my sister, I don't know Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings. I've never met her. But I've met Rawlings, taking photographs with him. I'm not a big fan of Rawlings. I could have been a big fan of Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings. At the time, her husband was the most feared in the country. Threats of assassinations and all that. She stood firm, unwavering, giving her ultimate support to this ferociously feared man. I think that calls for a certain kind of order and love and applause. Again, Victor Smith is telling us that she doesn't want to talk to me. She doesn't like me. She dislikes me. And we can see obviously, the man has tried to push out an olive branch, but the vindictive Konadu Agyemang Rawlings seemingly is not ready to embrace these truths. Maybe she has her reasons. Whatever it is, I am only commenting from afar. Victor Smith, continue holding out the olive branch. Maybe the children will join. One senator is part of it. The two others might join. And who knows? The big woman herself might just be part of it. This is the last story I want to look at, and I'll call it a day. Changing Bawumia will set NPP and Ghana back 16 years. 15 Eastern Region MPs declare support. And I read, 15 out of 23 new Patriotic Party members of Parliament in the Eastern Region have declared their support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's bid to lead the party into the 2028 general elections. The MPs said replacing the former vice president as flag bearer in the January 2026 contest will set the NPP and Ghana back by 16 years. At a press conference in Nkoko on Wednesday, September 24, 2025, the MPs argued that Ghanaians were beginning to embrace Dr. Bawumia's policy ideas, many of which they claimed had been vindicated since the 2024 polls. You can keep tickling yourselves and laughing as much as you like and for as long as you wish. I have never seen a party that is this myopic. The NPP is a shameful party. Now, if you don't take Bawumia, then the nation is going to go back, or the party will go back 4 terms. That's 16 years. 4 times 4 is 16. Unless mathematics all of a sudden changed and 4 times 4 is no more 16, I don't know. But whilst I was in school, my mathematics teacher taught me that 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Is it still 16 or it has changed? What is the mathematical evidence of what you are telling us? Statistical evidence. After all, statistics is mathematics. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come up and say, oh, if this thing does not happen, then we are going back 6 million years. What is the empirical evidence? A man who led you to the elections and failed so woefully. A man who became a figment of laughter. A figure of jokes. My brother, my sister. In fact, people laughed at Bawumia. And today, people still laugh at him. Wherever he goes, nobody takes him serious. He has lied and lied until lie itself is running away from him. He continues to lie and lie and lie and lie. My brother, my sister. And it is not funny. And here I'm hearing that, oh, Ghanaians are beginning to warm up to him and his ideas. Which ideas? The commissioning of the toilets? Or what? The drones that were supposed to fly medicines around? What are the drones doing now? Are they flying tramadol to the ghetto people? Let me know. Tramadol. Is that what is happening? Bawumia is a symbol of lies.
See, Bawumia has lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and who is lying? He keep on lying here and there. He just speak blah, blah, blah. When you go there, there's nothing of that sort. With this person, can you trust that person? To be frank, let me tell you, if you want a bigger liar in this country, it's Bawumia. See, Bawumia has lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and who is lying? He keep on lying here and there. He just speak blah, blah, blah. When you go there, there's nothing of that sort. To be frank, let me tell you, if you want a bigger liar in this country, it's Bawumia. If you want a bigger liar in this country, it's Bawumia. If you want a bigger liar in this country, it's Bawumia.
Well, these are not my words. If this is the person you want to be your flag bearer, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Somebody who woefully performed at the last elections. Somebody who joined us with Nana Akufo-Addo and shamelessly had to come out and say he was only a mate. Degrading the delusional regime of Nana Akufo-Addo. The regime that many Ghanaians wish will never be part of our history. The joke of a legacy, the joke of a regime. The regime of lubricated holes called cathedrals. The regime of arrogance. A regime of Gulliver's travels. What a shame to the bongo clippings. This is the guy you want to be your flag bearer. I would prefer that the NPP goes back the 16 years they're talking about, maybe 60 years, to having Bawumia come back. You know what? If Bawumia doesn't come back, 16 years, the NPP will go back. If Bawumia comes back, 60 million years, you will stay in opposition. I'll leave it here.
See,